I'm Selena, and it is time for my March to be read and talk about all the books that I plan to read in March. So jumping right in, I'm going to first start with my book clubs, the book that I'm reading in my book clubs and my read-alongs on my Discord. So the first thing, I have a read-along of the Farseer trilogy happening on my Discord. Hi, Editing Selena coming to you with my sort of inflamed looking face. I'm sorry, my allergies are not doing very well, and I just am popping in to say that none of us really got to Royal Assassin in February, so I'm shifting the dates a little bit. I'm going to be reading Royal Assassin in March and then Assassin's Quest in April. Hopefully people will join me. So the Farseer book on my TBR for March is not Assassin's Quest, it is instead Royal Assassin. My other book club I have is the Asteroid B612 book club that I run with my friend Ray, and we choose books and every month we read one together and other people if they want to join. So the book that we're reading in March is called Wicked as You Wish by Rin Chapeko. So we've read some Rin Chapeko books before. So Ray has read a lot of their stuff. I've read The Never Tilting World and Ever Cruel Kingdom, and I really did enjoy them. So we picked Wicked as You Wish, which is Rin Chapeko's new book. Came out in 2021, I believe, or 2020 actually. And so I know it's like a fairy tale, but it also takes place in America, which sounds weird to me, but we'll see. I'm willing to give it a try. So yeah, I'm going to be reading that this month. Then we are also reading The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed. I just got Ray this book for her birthday and we wanted to buddy read it. I'm super excited for this because I meant to read it ages ago in 2021 and just never got to it, but it was one of my most anticipated releases, and I'm excited. It's like, I know a fantasy story that's very much inspired by Jewish folklore, and it has like, I think it's about this girl who in her town is being, it is very common for young women to be taken by the woodsman and taken away from the town if the girl has like the gift of sight or something. Our main character doesn't, but the main character doesn't want to give up their actual person, and so they send her instead as a placeholder. And so it's about these two people with very like different worldviews kind of coming together, and I don't know, just realizing that they're more alike than not, I guess. I don't know. And then I also know that like it's been pitched a lot as like fantasy romance. It's not. It's like low fantasy, like I'm getting like quiet, soft, thematic kind of vibes, like maybe like Bear and the Nightingale. Like Bear and the Nightingale is like a little romance, and I've heard this does too, but it's mostly like thematic, quiet, character driven, and I love that stuff. I love folklore inspired fantasy, so I'm super excited to read this. And those are the only two book club books I have, and then I have 5 sequels that I am going to be reading. So the first one of those is Exile by Shannon Messenger. This is the second book in the Keeper of the Lost City series. I read Keeper of the Lost Cities in February and really enjoyed it, so I'm going to continue with the second. I know this series is about a little elf girl who is told she's an elf and is brought into the world, and it turns out she's very special. The series is enjoyable so far and cute, so I'm going to continue. Then I've been going through the Michael J. Sullivan's Rhaeria verse. It's not called that, it's called Elon, but I'm calling it Rhaeria verse, especially since I'm on the Rhaeria Chronicles, and in March I will be reading the 3rd book in the Rhaeria Chronicles, The Death of Dulgath. And this just follows Royce and Hadrian, this like duo of mercenaries who kind of do different jobs for people on various different jobs. And yeah, this is another one of them. But if you've watched my channel recently, you know I've been loving these books, so very excited for this one. This was supposed to be a February pick, but I never got to it because honestly, it's not one I really want to read, and that is The Drawing of the Three by Stephen King. This series is my boyfriend's favorite series. I hated The Gunslinger in January, didn't get to this in February because I was busy, and also it's definitely not my priority. So I'm hoping to prioritize it and get it done in the first couple days of March so I don't have to freaking think about this series for another month. Apparently this is where the series gets good. I'm unconvinced I will like it still. We'll see, I guess. Hello, Editing Selena here to say that Before They're Hanged is actually the first law book on my TBR. I had originally had Last Argument of Kings. I did not finish Before They're Hanged. I'm still reading Before They're Hanged because honestly it takes me forever to get through a first law book on audio, so Before They're Hanged it is. Then we have the final sequel that I am going to mention here. and that is A Traitor in Skyhold by John Beerus. This is the third book in the Mage Errant series, which I started last year, and I really enjoyed the first book and really didn't enjoy the second book, but apparently this book is phenomenal, and so is the fourth book. My friend Udi really loves this series, so he has assured me that the third and fourth books are much better than the second book, so I'm, I guess, sort of excited. It's his birthday this month, so I'm gonna be getting to this very early in the month and reading that. This is like a YA high fantasy progression fantasy type thing. It's definitely YA because it has like younger protagonists and like a very YA-ish feel to it, like kind of like a bit older YA though, but it's also very epic, and it has a very large focus on the magic system and leveling up, and that's why it's called progression fantasy. But the first book was very whimsical and charming, despite being also very focused on like the technical aspects of magic, and I just really enjoyed it. The second book, a mess we don't talk about. This one I'm hoping will be better. It's definitely thicker, which is interesting, but this author kind of is very quick to read, so. Then I have my arcs for the month. So I requested a bunch of arcs on NetGalley, and I'm kind of slowly working through them for some new releases that I want to get to in the year. Mostly short, but I have a couple of like full-size novels in here. So the ones that I want to read in March are Spear, and I don't remember who this is by. I just know it's a King Arthur retelling novella that is following the Lady of the Lake, I believe. I don't know much else about it, but it sounded good, so I put it on. I go ahead and requested it. And then also 1,000 Steps into Night by Tracy Chi. This is like a Japanese-inspired YA fantasy. I'm pretty sure it involves like a demon or something and shape-shifting, maybe? I don't know. I might be getting this confused, but it sounded super fun. I heard about it on Jessie May's channel, so I'm super excited for this one, and I got an arc of it, so yay. And now it is back to that time of the video where I do my picks out of the mugs. So if you don't know, I am starting to pick a couple books for my TBR out of little mugs so that I can add a little bit more variety into my TBR, for not variety in genre, it's all sci-fi fantasy pretty much, but like variety in like, I didn't set these out at the beginning of the year that I wanted to do these this month. Like, what can I like pick and like not know what I'm getting, that sort of thing. So I have a space for a high fantasy this month, but I'm pretty sure that's going to go to The Liar's Knot because I'm reading Mask of Mirrors right now and I'm loving it, so I'm not going to pick a high fantasy this month. Funny story, it actually went to the Mask of Mirrors because I hadn't finished it, so. But I have finished it now. Tune into my wrap up to see what I thought about it. I am going to pick 2 low fantasies though. Fantasy. Oop. I need a physical, not an audio. Yeah, oh, I found one. Little Thieves. I don't know who this is by, but I do own this book. So that's really good. I also don't know too much about what it's about. I do know it's a Goose Girl retelling where it's kind of following the villain who like takes the Goose Girl's place, or not the Goose Girl, the princess's place, and she has to like atone for her sins, I guess. So yeah, I'm excited to read that one. That's on my TBR now. So basically the pick I picked out of the mug, I couldn't end up being able to do just because of like, so the way my TBR is shaping up is different. So I picked out a sci-fi for March that was going to be an audiobook. But the thing is, I never finished my February pick, The Space Between Worlds. So that is actually going to be my March sci-fi pick. Even though I didn't pick it in this video, that it was on my March TBR. And then I also didn't finish my February mug pick, Wildwood Dancing, and that is a physical book. So that's also on the TBR. Some catch up. I'm playing catch up here. And so I was not going to be able to do both of those books physically, plus Little Thieves, which I really want to do, plus the other book I ended up picking. So that one I put right back into the mushroom mug, and it will be open for other months. It'll be hopefully picked another month, and I'm going to pick something else out that is actually going to be an audiobook because I do not have any more room for physical books. I'm at max capacity, but I still want to be able to pick 2 low fantasies out of the mugs, especially because I've already added things in there for them to replace. So I'm gonna go get the mug right now, and I'm going to pick out the second one and insert it in this video. Ooh, I see physical books, but I don't see audios. Is that one? Yeah. Sorry, I had to get the angle so I could get it. Let me open it and we'll see what it is. Once Upon a Broken Heart by... Who's it by? Stephanie Garber? The Caravel lady? Yeah. So that's my second low fantasy pick out of here. Now you can watch me replace them. So I've done picking things to go on the TBR, but I do want to pick some replacements for the cup. For the low fantasy mug, I need to pick out two. They should both be physical and low fantasy, not high fantasy, because I do have high fantasy in the same mug, despite calling it low fantasy mug. Okay, that one. That one's high. Did one high? No, this one's low. So the two going in are Nightshine by Tessa Gratton, which is good. And then Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. And this one's actually a new release coming out in April, so it's kind of perfect that it will be in the cup as it is coming available. Cool, I hope to see those on TBRs in future months. This has been my March TBR. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.